Hello and welcome to Nightsky Sanctum, a Children of Midnight Coven actual play. This is Season 2, Episode 16, Hunting Bloody Rose White Wolf, who just subscribed. Thank you so much, Bloody Rose. And thank you, Seth the Neurotic Fish. We have had so many people subscribing today before we even started. Let's see. We also had some new followers today. The Continuum 82, whose channel actually looks really cool. And Gamora Gumdrop subscribed before we went live today, as well as becoming a Patreon patron of ours, our lucky 13th Patreon patron. So we'll be, that's a nice, fun, magical number for us, so we'll be looking into doing something special for that too. Thank you, Seraphine Fellstar, for the 6 months. And I think someone else... I feel like Bloody Rose White Wolf subscribed last week, and we might not have got a chance to shout that out. So thank you so much for doing that. All right. So before we get into gameplay proper, let's have everyone here tell our audience where they, who we are and what characters we're playing. Let's start with Morningstar.
Well, I don't want to spend too much time on who I am because, well, I'm a modest person. I don't like talking about myself, but I am Morningstar, and I will be playing Elise today. She is our mind-manipulating Median who utilizes very questionable means to achieve also somewhat questionable goals. Whenever possible.
Absolutely. Megan?
Right. Play Seth, our Nerid shapeshifter of the group. They are sashimi with one brain cell, and they attempt to infiltrate and do impersonation with mainly marine life shapeshifting magic.
Yeah. Andrea?
Yes, she is.
Yeah, I'm Andrea. I am playing Hollis. She is a gob baba. She is obsessed with death and dying and all the steps in between. And yeah.
Came pretty close about 2 sessions ago, too.
She did.
Powerful demon popping out of
Edging.
your body. Yep. This is some merch we don't sell anymore. We pulled down all our merch, but if there is enough want, we'll probably be hand making any future merch because we've been enjoying doing some crafting lately. I think those earrings of yours were handcrafted yesterday, right?
Mm-hmm.
Nice. All right. So, last week, over the last few weeks, the last few sessions, the Coven Nightsky Sanctum has been getting together to they've had a lot of different things that they've been trying to accomplish. One of them was that there are 3 liches that they had found out were exiled to different spirit worlds, and they decided to right those wrongs that were done by some of the most powerful factions. And they have successfully repatriated back to the physical world 2 of those 3 liches, one from the underworld, and the second with the help of Navi and Sean Drake, who came to join us as guest stars from the underworld and from the shadow world, which was with help from another guest star. So there is still one of the Lich brothers remaining that is trapped in the deep astral, Elise's domain.
How fun.
So the Liches have been working very hard on trying to find them coordinates, a way in to a deep astral realm so that they can find the third brother and return him to physical reality. But that has been a long and tough-going process, so they have not yet come back with that information. However, Hollis sees that someone has entered her domain again, and you see for the second time a skeletal hand reach onto your island and drop another message in a bottle onto the shore of the island that Nightsky Sanctum calls home. And with just as fast as it arrived, it's gone, and you know what that means. Probably another note about this Ruby Phantom who has been terrorizing witches over the last 2 years, all over Midnight.
Well, some witches.
Yeah, mostly witches with very obvious heritage traits. So they have gone after a lot of Nereids and gobs, things like that. They had sent you off on a wild goose chase in the past, which you guys absolutely decimated the awards ceremony that they sent you to, trying to find the Ruby Phantom, but it was no luck. Luckily, you did enough damage that it made it all absolutely worthwhile.
It was fun.
So, when Hollis, are you going alone to get the letter?
I was gonna send Ron to fly over and
Okay.
snatch it and bring it back to the house.
All right. Yeah, he has no problem reaching down with his claws, his little owl claws, talons, and grabbing the rim of the bottle and carrying that back to the entrance of your underground covenstead. You recognize the handwriting instantly as the same person who has written you in the past. He tells you that he has been solidly and with great faith assured that the Ruby Phantom has been called away to a grail hunting club camp called Camp Daybreak, which is just outside of Midnight to the north. And that is where you will find the Ruby Phantom and should be able to put a stop to him once and for all.
Dun, dun, dun.
But unlike last time, this person who is tipping you off did not provide you with any additional information or a ritual like they did last time to help you infiltrate the awards ceremony. Apparently, they trust that you are quite powerful enough in your own right that you don't need their assistance. So, all right.
And they probably didn't want to get their hands too dirty when they saw how messy we were last time.
Yeah, I think there were, we had said there were about 300 people at that awards ceremony. About half made it out completely unscathed, and several people ended up leaving in body bags. So, yeah. And a lot of them had their minds permanently altered by both Elise and another wild witch who was also a psyche that happened to be there at the same time.
It's always fun to permanently alter a few shapes. Experimentation and such.
So,
Man, you couldn't have picked a better name for the camp, seeing as Daybreak is the name of one of those crisis pregnancy centers in South Carolina.
Oh, that's right, it is. No wonder that sounded so familiar. I used randomnamegenerators.com because it's the best website in existence. But yeah, you're right. We see their billboards all the time. Daybreak. Yeah, they're horrible. So yeah, definitely matches. So like I said, they are just outside of the border of what we call Midnight, the place where the sun does not shine, over what used to be called Manhattan. And yeah, just to the north, judging by the time of year that it is, coming up on Samhain, it is probably cold, chilly, but not yet snowing out there.
Okay.
But cold enough that I can wear a few of my furs.
Oh, for sure. All right. Does anyone want to do any information gathering or have an idea for the type of undertaking you might want to do?
Do we have to call Chet to borrow his van?
This means we'll have to go in the sun.
Yeah. Well, you could always go at night, then you don't have to worry about that at all.
I don't think my little gob eyes can take the sunshine.
I imagine much the same for Seth. You're a deep water fish, aren't you, darling?
Real crispy. Now all I can picture is Hollis with one of those big golf umbrellas. Just
Ooh.
And me, well, I can't risk the wrinkles.
Yeah, maybe you
We
guys
must go in the evening.
need a telekinetic sun-blocking umbrella that just hovers over your entire coven wherever you go when you
Elise
leave.
is gonna find like one of those weather witches and just make it permanently overcast.
There you go. That's how you do it.
Snuff out the light.
It is not terribly far by car, and you can get there via the subway. But yeah, it definitely is outside of your normal means of locomotion. Like, it would probably take a day for like a Ron to fly out there and back.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
Seth could literally just be a horse. They don't mind sharing.
Yeah, once you get outside of midnight, the people seeing strange heritages start to pick up the phone and call people. It
Oh my
doesn't,
goodness.
the relative safety,
Order of where people get explicitly racist,
right?
as opposed to implicitly racist, is a very clear border.
Yeah, it's where the sun don't shine.
Well,
There are some powers that I don't know if anybody has. They are general powers that can assist you in these sort of long range gather information, such as clairvoyance, or if you had a piece of something from their psychometry. I'm trying to think if there is anything else that could get you some good information from a distance. Those are probably the two best.
find a non-witch and make them use the internet. Wikipedia.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. I feel like there
We'll
is
go with Starbucks and like just get some hipster.
somebody just made an eclectic the other day, and I was like, oh, that would be so useful.
So I think we should get our human coven contact to go to a vacation rental place and rent us a RV camper.
Oh, the camper? My God. Why don't we just get a limousine? It's not like we need a camper.
Well, you can't, sleeping in a limousine for a couple of days doesn't sound as nice. It can be a luxury camper. They're really nice now.
Well, we're actually going camping. I thought we were just going to kill someone.
I mean, you want to be able to be comfortable if we don't drive back the same day.
I'll see if there's a hotel in the neighborhood.
But then we have to rent things with our name. So if she does it and drives us back and forth, when we have a chauffeur who can use electronics with us if we need them, and we have, mobile luxury.
Good idea. versus just getting
Luxury is a relative term, darling.
Right, very relative. And I'm sure for
Elise
Hollis,
is going to start drinking immediately.
for
She knows how this day is going.
for Hollis, that's much more of a luxury because wow, the ceiling's like twice as high as her head. But Elise is probably grazing the roof.
Said a camper, not a bus. Not like a van wife lady truck.
That's a different game entirely.
That's a different game.
All right. Yeah. Do you want to fund that endeavor?
Yeah.
Yeah.
With
I have my SAPE contact, Mara, the merchant. Would she potentially be able to help us procure something?
Yeah, you can definitely roll for Mara. Because you're
Okay.
making use of a contact, you get to add 1 die to the roll, and you get to decide what you would use. And how you're approaching the subject and all that.
Maybe a sway, just to.
Okay.
Last time we engaged with her, it's like, hey, you lost like both your arms and a leg, so.
But she did get them back.
She did get them back,
And that
but
was
she might hold a grudge.
That was half her fault. I mean, she was already in deep shit by the time you guys got there, and yeah, she just lost a few more
If
limbs.
anything, we just stopped them from going further.
Yeah.
She already had the shovel, we just helped dig the hole.
Yeah, so
Okay.
I think sway would be, if it's not in her best interest, it's going to cost her more money to do this for you than it's going to cost you. So I think if that's the case, that would make sense to me.
Okay. I'll do that then.
All right, let's see what we have here.
We could have just stolen a car.
All right.
We've done it before.
Steal a camper.
Okay.
Technology, though. What are we going to do with technology?
It's not. It doesn't have to be new cars, darling.
So this is a partial success. I'm thinking she has a hard time getting you access to anything that is, proper camper type of thing for 3 people. But she does have one of those silver bullets that's like a trail behind.
That's my favorite.
She can get you access to, and a little hybrid car that a self-driving hybrid that
That is certainly technology.
can take you there.
Robert and I aren't going to take up much room because we can literally be whatever. So we're not picky. We'll sleep in the glove compartment.
Cats are excited by the sound of our dice rolling, so that's good. That's how you can tell we built a successful dice roller here. Not whether we roll a whole bunch of ones like we do every week, but because cats are excited by the sound, so I'm happy for that. All right. Okay. If everybody's willing, it sounds like you guys will be able to get close enough to sort of make a plan. Do you want to do some more gather information once you arrive on the scene?
Probably a good idea.
Sensible.
Okay. Who wants to be in charge of that? So.
Well, it's a camp, right?
It is called Camp Daybreak. It is a hunting lodge on a large piece of property. It's heavily forested, and it is a no trespassing zone. There are some regular camps nearby, so if you did, camp in a site, you could probably get sort of backdoor access. So
Yeah, I do love a good bit of backdoor access.
Cue the don't click that.
Thanks for the follow.
Seems like a sensible course of action, rather than attempting to drive right onto their camp, although we could probably manage that somehow.
Oh, someone just asked, what is in the glass box behind Andrea? What's in
It's
the
a
box?
baby. It's a baby. Bearded dragon. His name is Prometheus, and I love him.
If we're lucky, we'll also see a Hermes today. Actually, do I see? I already see a Hermes tail.
Yes, she's up there. She
Slightly.
likes to be able to see all once.
Nice.
Everything the light touches is my kingdom.
Okay. All right. Yeah. What kind of information are you looking for, or what's the plan?
I was thinking we could send Iran and anybody else who can do a flying thing to yeah, just kind of check out where the entrances, exits, what kind of security, that kind of thing. All the important stuff.
Hunting lodge with guns.
Yes.
Where we can get ourselves some guns.
Mm-hmm.
We
Seth?
are witches, but guns are more fun.
They sure can be. Seth, do you want to shapeshift Robert and have him, them go along?
Yes, please.
Okay. And what are you thinking as far as the action, you guys?
Like a survey, because we're doing a
Yeah,
larger
survey.
area.
That makes sense to me. All right. I would say a group survey. Who's going to be in charge?
When I can't fly, so not me.
I could be.
Okay. So that'll cost you 1 willpower to start the group action, and then both of you can roll. And if you'd like a Fey bargain or to spend willpower for increased effect, just let me know. This is going
Yeah,
to
I'm
be...
gonna spend willpower for increased effect.
Are you two kind of splitting up and taking different areas to survey?
We have the telekinesis, so I guess that makes sense.
Yes.
Yeah, telepathic bond?
Yep.
Awesome.
Telepathic, not telekinesis. Just launch like Iran and River through the sky.
Yeah. Actually, based on the results of this roll, I will decide whether the telepathic bond extends this far, since you are so far from midnight and so far from the statue of Jack Spiderstripe.
Yeah, but it's a coven ability. He just wouldn't be able to listen. He would be lonely
Yeah, that's interesting.
while we're gone.
I think if you roll well enough, I think that definitely might happen. That could be very interesting.
A Fey bargain on mine. I'm fairly full up from last session for willpower.
Okay. Fey bargain? What form is Ribert in?
I'll say an owl
Okay.
to match. It's we're in the forest, so it makes sense to have like a wilderness in.
What do you think? A larger owl than Aran? I think Aran is what kind of owl?
He's a little screech owl.
Screech owl.
Maybe like a barn owl then.
Okay.
Mm.
All right. How about the barn owl is so rarely seen for some reason around these parts. Maybe they've hunted them all, and so they'll think it's already. They're gonna think it's unusual when anyone spots Ribert out there as a barn owl.
Got it. Okay.
So that'll give you +1 die.
Okay.
Okay, that came out to a complete success.
Nice.
Okay. So yeah,
It's in danger. Leave it alone.
the two of you spot several buses drive up and let off 2 very large groups of people for a total of about 20 Grail Hunting Club members. You also notice that they have a huge, like, 6-car garage attached to the building. And when you spot, I'm going to say when Ribert dives down and spots, gets a good view inside the garage, you see there's some pretty advanced technology in there. some what look like hovercrafts. Possibly Red Watch issue, and maybe, they ran aground one too many times, and so they decided to sell them off to someone, or maybe some of the Red Watch members are also members of Grail Hunting Club.
That's
Ooh,
more like
that's very hard to believe.
All right, so we need to break their toys.
Yeah, that shouldn't be too hard.
Yeah.
Too bad Azaelin's not here, so we could power word destroy some toys.
Yeah, that would be nice. We miss you,
Yeah,
Azaelin.
we can always power word Molotov cocktail.
All right. You also noticed that there's a large building on the premises that's attached to this 6-car garage. It is 3 stories tall and has mostly glass windows around the outside, especially around the back end of the building. There is a helipad on top of the building and a big set of double doors that lead down from the helipad. Any other information you're trying to gather? Seth, you rolled a 6, so I think you're entitled to an additional piece of information. You have an idea?
Well, because they're not gonna like my heritage around here, am I able to see anyone in particular that I can maybe see if someone's on their own that I could potentially get a read on for impersonation purposes?
Gotcha.
Like someone that looks like they're maybe of like authority.
I'm gonna say normally for like if that was like the whole purpose of, so if you want to do it as a separate action, I think you could definitely probably get some information, but I would say all you get is when one of the buses pulls up, they stop and let somebody out, and he goes running off into the woods and vomits in the trees. And so he's like a distance away from some of the other people. And so you can get a pretty good beat on him if you were trying to find somebody to impersonate. But yeah, you don't have any real idea if he's a person of any kind of power. He just appears to have gotten car sick.
No, less nice about the car sick, but it's gonna be a repeat
Nice.
of the gnomes with the
Oh
it's
no. So yeah, I would say you could impersonate him just based on what you've already gathered from being. You just happen to be in the tree that he is vomiting at the base of.
I get myself a bucket hat and a fanny pack, and I'll blend in.
They're wearing a lot of flannel, and they just look sort of like a mixture of kind of like rough dock workers and
Lumberjacks.
Red Watch and yeah. But you see a couple of people like this guy that seem to have got car sick. He looks like he probably works in an office building every day. He's he lacking a pocket protector, but otherwise, yeah,
Company retreat he didn't want to go to.
could very well be.
A soft man looking for an opportunity to kill.
That is pretty dead on, actually. But yeah, you guys are able to see as you're sort of getting ready to head back that the people are all changing into other clothes and arming themselves.
Goodness, so they're not even going to have cocktails first.
Beers, maybe?
They were drinking on the bus. Maybe he couldn't hold his liquor. Or Coors Light or whatever. His Corona.
Cool.
Anything else? Any, deeper digging or anything before you guys make a plan? Rindaline, thank you for the follow.
I'm not sure what else we would that Steph would think to look for
Yeah.
while on patrol right now, with what little information we have from the letter.
Okay. Right, so in your grimoires is a section for types of plan, method, and detail. If you want to look those over and decide how you want to go in and see if you can find the right person, or you could just start killing indiscriminately and hope that you get them before they run away.
I vote for that plan.
That one does.
Or arson. We could burn down the entire lodge. Or both.
So,
Hello, Alptron Fairy. You're not too late. It's okay. We've been doing a lot of gathering information, so I'm about to.
We haven't gotten to the chaos yet.
Tiny.
you haven't missed the arson, it's okay.
Yeah, you haven't missed the arson. Tiny bits of chaos.
So we could do an assault. We could do a stealth. I think those are our two best options.
I feel assault might be a bit too on the nose.
Yeah.
Andrew, did you find a cat?
I did, sorry.
I was like, that lean can only mean one thing.
Here.
You have a cat.
Come here, baby. You want to say hi? It's my kitty.
Oh, how charming.
Soot monster.
She's my little Halloween cat.
Yeah.
I think she's about ready to get out of the closet.
I bet. Well, during the first break. Oh, Lupinico just subscribed with Prime. Thank you so much. This is the official most subscribers we've ever had at once. So thank you all so much for that.
Super awesome.
Yeah. Yes, med check. Everybody, make sure you have water, food, and medication. And then Friday will remind you to, or chat will remind you to do your laundry too. So tune in on Fridays on the Wildwood Witch channel.
It's very important.
All right. Okay, so assault plan, is that what you guys are aiming for?
Either that or stealth. We could probably get more accomplished if we go stealthy, at least to begin with.
Yes, I don't know that I can really maintain stealth for very long. But it's worth a start.
It's a good, intention to start with.
Steph's still pretty worn out from the last session, so I don't have too much willpower. So if we go in like stealth first, they're probably less likely to be dead weight.
Okay. So what is the detail for stealth?
Entry point.
I think the two entry points you guys have spotted so far are the helipad on the roof and the back doors and the garages.
I like the helipad. Personally.
Are we going to find someone with a helicopter? Or are we just going to climb up there?
I'm thinking we're just going to climb up there and go in through the doors on the roof.
Seth has been a helicopter before. No, wait. That's not quite true. You were a four-wheeler that flew like a helicopter.
Like four-wheeler with water cannons. It was like insane.
They're all going to have guns. Why don't we just get them high again? Or do it the magical way. We could play some tricks. Get them to shoot each other.
You guys are a little bit outside of midnight, so wild magic here comes at a slightly reduced cost. You'd be looking at a 10 clock instead of an 8 clock.
Although some of these folks could be with the Red Watch.
Yeah.
But if they shoot each other,
Problem solved. An idea, if it becomes necessary.
I like it.
It's always better to have people kill each other rather than have to do the dirty work. Waste my
Absolutely.
own bullets.
I just want to bite somebody. That's all.
By the end of the night, Hollis will bite someone.
Mhm.
And there will be fire.
If it's a matter of when. Yeah, I like the idea of going through the helipad and then maybe doing something of some kind of distraction with the equipment in the garage, potentially, if it comes to
Mhm.
that. We gotta figure out how Elisa's getting up there, though.
They have alacrity.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Sure.
Just run off the side of the building.
There's my
Turn to get you some
natural
track
ability to
shoes.
just run.
We watched what was that last night? Interview with the Vampire, and they had one of the best uses of the alacrity style ability I've ever seen. They showed it from the person using alacrity's viewpoint, and they're just walking nice and slow toward the person they were going to kill, and time had slowed
beautiful.
down for everybody else in the room. It was gorgeous.
So beautiful.
Yeah.
And I thought True Bloods was the best, and now I'm just like, this blew that right out of the water.
Smash it.
Good movie,
Wonderful.
but even better TV show on AMC. Angel of Flight Daisy. Angel of Light Daisy 444. Sorry.
Angel O' Flight.
O Flight is Scottish.
It's an Irish angel.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go to the building.
So, Seth, what are you turning into to get on the roof?
Just be an owl and join Rupert, I guess. Now we got 3 owls.
Okay. And then Hollis?
Yeah, I'm jumping inside of my owl.
Okay. Using...
Gonna wear him like a little jacket.
Aw, that sounds terrible. What is that power called?
Cute.
Adorable. Yeah. Familiar
writing.
Yeah. All right.
Like, it's gone.
Elise is actually literally wearing an animal as a jacket right now.
True.
They're gonna be
As
like,
she
it's a
runs up the
Bigfoot.
side.
Okay. Yeah, I think we could do that as a entry point. So Elise, that will cost 2 essence to alacrity from the woods all the way up to the top of the building. And Hollis, that'll cost 1 essence for you to use familiar writing to get in, and then you'll need another to get back out. And that's a freebie for Seth. Okay. In that case, I will get us a engagement roll, and we'll see how we do.
Did you add the essence cost to familiar writing?
Oh, you're right. There is no essence cost. You are correct. It is...
okay, because I know we've changed everything so many times. I was like, did it just not get onto my sheet properly?
No, yeah, it's a concentration ability. As long as you have a moment to enter or exit your familiar, there is no cost. Awesome. Okay. Doing that terrible 1 + 1 - 1 math.
1 + 1 - 1.
Yep. Okay.
7.
We have a 3-die engagement roll. And the result is a complete success. So, you arrive at the first obstacle in a controlled position. The double doors are locked, and you can hear military-style tactical movements, tactical drills coming from inside. But they do not seem to be aware of your presence as of yet.
Okay.
Hills. What are they hunting?
witches.
Well, military-style drills are not going to help them.
No,
When the witch hits the fan.
but it's the best preparation they can make.
No, the best preparation they could make was to
Get back
have a
up.
drink ready for me, and then maybe I would spare them.
Lupinico says, hopefully they're not getting ready to go hunt owls.
Yeah.
It was a good thing Seth rolled a complete success on the thing earlier, otherwise maybe they would be. Okay. So yeah, this set of double doors appears to be locked. However, it's not a high technology lock of any kind. It is simply basically a double set of patio doors that just happen to be locked from the inside right now.
Directly on the opposites of these doors? Like we can hear them, we can see them.
Oh no, they're one level below you. They can't see you or hear you from where you're at, but you can hear them.
Okay, just because you said it was a glass building, so it's just like, are we just on the opposite side of the glass building? Super obvious.
Yeah,
Logging on the glass.
Standing there in a bright red dress.
yeah. No, there's nobody directly near you, and nobody is apparently nobody is looking up on the roof right now. All right. So how do you
We
want
have
to...
lockpicks as a coven asset, correct?
Yes.
What do you
Just
roll to
generic.
do lockpicks?
Generally finesse.
Who has the most finesse?
I have 3 finesse.
Damn.
I have I think I have 1. I have 1.
I also have 3.
Wow.
Well, Elise, you've been boozing it up. You want to give it a go? Can we find the luck hole point?
Sure. I shall put my drink down for a moment, my bottle of gin, which I call my extra, extra dry martini. It's just a cold bottle of gin she's walking around with. And attempt to pull the lockpick set, which I've been using as hairpins, out and utilize it to open the lock.
Okay. That is going to be controlled standard.
All right.
Sorry. Or was that the last roll? Or is that the new roll? I'm sorry, I did not see the timing. That is the new roll.
A 2, 5, and a 6.
Fantastic. Okay. That's a complete success, so you can describe what happens.
Well, at least just wiggles the lockpick and the setter very gently. And soon the door just opens. It unlatches. You can hear it with a gentle click. And she pulls it aside. And being the rude and self-centered individual that she is, immediately starts walking in without waiting for anyone else to go in first.
The sound of the voices from inside get louder, but they don't seem to be coming toward you at all. You can definitely hear you're probably simply a floor up from them, and there doesn't seem to be anything blocking the sound of their voices as they are calling everyone to attention and getting them ready to move out.
What kind of hunting trip is this? This is weird.
Going to put some great behemoth. But I'm not certain what would be running around at the woods north of midnight. Well, are we south of midnight? I wasn't keeping track.
North, yeah.
Sasquatches. Lots of Sasquatch babies.
If you want to hunt a squatch, just do it on the streets of New York.
Yeah, but these ones are wild.
Wild Squatch.
Wild Squatch babies.
Free range.
Free range Squatch.
Mothman isn't in New York.
No.
I mean, he can fly, so he could be anywhere.
I thought we determined that Mothman was actually a woman.
Oh yeah, Mothman is indeed a woman. And very
Is there only
annoyed.
one moth person, or is there more than one moth person?
I mean, you guys as Twin Pines characters only ever met one, so I would assume it would be up to Megan's other character as to whether Mothwoman is the only one.
It's like Moth Woman and like Cricket Man.
Call back to
Mantis,
Twin Pines.
Mantis them, like.
Really going to give Marvel a run for their money with that.
Oh yeah, Mantis. I forgot. Right.
I was thinking Ant-Man and the Wasp.
You hear what sound like metal shackles and metal chains dragging the ground, and the men inside down one story start hooting and making grunting noises. And yeah, that's what you're hearing from above right now.
The ghost of Christmas past.
Can we grab one of them? It's like, is there a guy that's by himself, going to the bathroom or something?
They're a story down from you, and you can't see them at all, so somebody would need to go down there and...
I just want to know what they're hunting. This is making me nervous.
Quite excited now.
You hear a single gunshot, and then running.
In the building?
In a building.
Oh my god, we haven't even done anything yet.
And, yeah, the sound
Those
of running...
people need to be stopped.
Oh yeah, they are...
the sound of running?
The sound of running. And it
like
seems to be going away from you.
Oh, maybe it was just a blank and it's like a race.
Oh yeah, they're definitely using that big ballroom for... They're having a big foot race down there.
I mean, they could run out of the building. They're just doing laps around the ballroom. The fitness gram pacer test. Oh man, I am too tired. I'm sorry.
Hey, this level of deliriousness is exactly what we need here, so thank you.
Yes. Being lucid is overrated.
Yeah. These dice keep covering up your name. Unacceptable.
Well, you can get
as
rid of
Hall.
I'm getting rid
Andrea
of
as Hall.
There we go. Hole. All right. Chaos Them says, I love this, Andrea. All right. So, yeah, the running continues. It goes from being one sound of footsteps to dozens. And then you hear the front doors of the building being flung open. Which is on sort of the opposite end of the building and down one floor from where you are.
Can I take a peek over the edge and see how many people are leaving the building?
Sure. What form do you want to be in?
Just like, I'll just stay as the owl, just
Okay.
kind of perched on the edge.
All right. I'm gonna say still controlled. What do you want to use for that?
Probably survey again, just because we're
Okay.
at the top and I'm looking
Yeah,
around the complex.
makes sense.
I won't take anything for this one though, just because I don't want to get too loaded up too early on the paper.
All right, we have a partial success. On a partial success on a controlled, you can choose whether you want to try again at risky or have reduced effect. I think either of those would make sense. Or you could withdraw and try a different approach. Whichever you like, I can describe how that happens.
Again, with reduced effect.
Oh, you can just have it at reduced effect, so you'd get well, yeah, so you'd get like lesser effect instead of standard. If you're good with that, then you don't have to roll again. But if you want to go take it up to risky, you can roll, and you could potentially get a complete success.
Would I roll for the same action, or would I have to pick something?
Same action.
Okay. You know what? Sure. I'll roll again for risky, and we'll see how that goes.
Okay.
See if I fall off the edge of the building or something.
Yeah, so I think risky means that you sort of peek over the edge, but there's not really there's like an awning or something that you're going to have to drop down onto. And yeah, it's going to put you closer to the action and give you a little bit less. It's like a partially see-through plastic awning over the door. All right.
Got it.
Okay. And that is a fail. A fail on a risky is going to
I did
be.
fall off the building.
I think when you just mistime the landing, so when you hit as that barn owl, you make a loud noise, and you spook something that's underneath the awning, and you see a big hairy hand swipe up over the top of the edge of the awning, and you are face to face with a Sasquatch who has chains on their arms, but it looks like they've been unchained from each other, so they're still dangling and making noise. And when it swipes at you, one of the chains flicks up and hits you.
Okay.
So we're going to be looking at level 2 harm, unless you want to resist.
I have enigmatic form.
Ooh. You want to become something bigger or smaller to avoid it?
Yeah. I'll become something smaller, I think.
Okay.
Since I'm already on this ledge and face planted into that, I'll just shift into a rat.
Okay.
So I'll be smaller, so I can potentially try to avoid the hand.
Okay.
I popped my essence for that. It doesn't look like I have to do any kind of roll.
Awesome. So you shapeshift with such speed that the chain goes flicking by, and it would have hit you as an owl, but goes right over your head as a rat. The Sasquatch looks up there confusedly, and then starts to back away. And you see as the Sasquatch gets shot in the arm, as more soldiers start pouring out of the doorway. And then the Sasquatch turns and runs into the woods.
These are not hunters.
They're hunting the most dangerous game. People. Specifically, 8-foot-tall, hairy people with extreme musculature.
I knew it was squatches.
They
got a squatch to chase the squatches? That's
No.
not...
That is the Squatch that's being chased.
Oh, they just let him go.
Yeah, they let him go so they can chase him.
Not even a fair game. I mean, he's wearing chains.
Yep.
Going to be able to hear him.
Yeah.
Very sports.
Well, what can one expect from this lot?
Am I able to climb back up and rejoin the rest of the group?
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. You're a rat, so I don't think that's going to be any difficulty for you.
As at least doesn't kick me off the side of the building.
This is Grail Hunting Club.
From midnight, darling, I'm used enough to rats.
Yeah, a cryptid fox hunt. Sort of.
Not even on horseback.
With dogs.
At least there are no dogs.
Alright, so the three of you are up on top of the roof and not currently seen by any of the people, and they immediately, the men immediately begin filing out of the front door and sort of forming a perimeter around the wooded area that the Sasquatch ran into.
This is so cheating.
And then you
I don't
watch
like
as
it.
they ready their guns and then start sort of marching through into the woods. And you can hear that the sounds of chatter coming from below you have greatly diminished. More than half of the people have already left the building.
Well, shall we do a gender reveal party?
And blow it up.
Just burn the forest.
Burn down the woods.
Yeah, the gender is on fire.
My favorite gender.
Flaming.
Okay, that I'm making that into a meme. On fire, always one of my favorite genders.
I mean,
Okay.
I don't have anything I can do for fire for the forest, so that's up to you two if you want to do that. Just pour my little rat peats, just like cozy.
And it might not be the most effective way to deal with them, but it's certainly one of the most exciting.
It'll be very disorienting for them too.
It is at that time you hear the sound of garage doors opening.
They're going to do the hovercrafts out there too, I'm sure.
Oh my gosh, these people.
Because they certainly cannot suffer not having every single advantage.
Welcome, Midnight Rose 926. That is such an apt name for our stream.
Okay, so I'm gonna jump into Iran again.
Okay.
And I'm going to fly over top of the Sasquatch, so I'm in front of them. I'm gonna land, jump out, and then
Do a roll
Yes.
for your own safety.
do
Very
a barrel
important.
roll. And and then I'm gonna try to set the woods on either side of me, both sides of me, on fire, and have it spread in kind of a circle, and see if I can get most of these guys that are encircling this Sasquatch.
Okay. So one step at a time. You're gonna have to find the Sasquatch. So,
Shouldn't be too hard.
jumping into Iran, and then what do you want to do? Survey the woods?
I'm just gonna fly in the direction that he ran.
Okay.
And follow the Bigfoot tracks in the snow.
There's no snow this time.
Oh, that's right. There's no snow.
Yeah.
Because I was close to the Sasquatch, though, would I potentially be able to assume that there's some hair that fell off when he tried to swipe at me, and I could use psychometry with?
Yeah, you could do a quick flashback and get some hair off of them.
Okay.
I would say you were very, very close to them, so 1 willpower should be enough.
Okay. Then 1 willpower tipped for the hair, and then I've got the essence ticked for the psychometry. So we can see potentially
How they were
motion events in
captured.
its past. Yeah, how they were captured. So maybe there's like a den or something in the forest that they took them from that they might be retreating towards.
Okay. Give me a roll on psychometry
Okay.
while you're up on the roof.
What do you need me to roll?
You can choose. And
Like, I mean, do I do like a fortune roll or like? What should I do?
Yeah, a fortune roll based on one of the actions, and then Andrea for Hollis,
Mm-hmm.
maybe a survey, because you do need to get out there, fly out there in such a way that you aren't getting shot at.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. I'm gonna spend some willpower to get an extra survey die.
Okay. And for the psychometry, Seth got a crit.
Ooh.
Ooh.
So
Your mom's maiden name.
well, it's funny you say that because um, this Sasquatch is the product of a underground breeding program.
Oh no.
Oh, that's
Sasquatch
dark.
puppy now.
And I'm going to I will give you some more information about that horrible terribleness off camera. Because it's horrible, but you rolled a crit, so you get to know all about it. Okay. Oh, Agent Jewel made a 2D action roll. Great job. Apparently I did not change your name back from the special that we did. Okay, I will change that during the break. But
It's fine.
Yeah, it's Hollis.
It's me.
Okay.
Rude.
Aw, cute though.
You
Cute
put
but
my
rude.
earbud out.
Oh no. Okay. Hollis, for a risky partial success, I think you get fired at multiple times because they were told that there's an owl around that isn't supposed to be around, even though it wasn't about you. Because they were told
I'm a
about.
very tiny owl. They
Yeah.
can't shoot me.
Oh no, they don't hit you, but they do fire at you repeatedly. And we're going to take for any owls, it will be desperate from here on out.
Okay.
But it'll be risky for everybody else.
Okay.
All right. So on a partial, you find the closest treetop to this Sasquatch, and you are able to look down through the branches and see that it's hiding behind an extremely thick trunk. That's
Trunk
what
of a
trees
tree.
have. Yeah,
Tree trunks.
tree trunks.
Oh, tree
Aw,
trunk.
tree trunks. Sorry, tree trunks died. It makes me sad every time I say tree trunks. Yeah, so you can see this Sasquatch there, and apparently no one else can quite yet. From your vantage point, you're able to see them quite a bit better.
I want to land in front of them and jump out of the owl
Okay.
and try to cast from in front of the Sasquatch.
All right, so let's. What do you think? Spring?
For what?
Getting down from the top of the tree to the ground safely and out of the owl at the same time?
I was just going to have the owl land in front of the Sasquatch.
Okay. I just think that's going to give them enough time that they might be able to, maybe a
I mean, the owl can fly faster than I can jump out of a tree.
so maybe a fortune roll to see how well it goes. I'm just saying it could be your action, but a fortune roll works too.
Was the action for getting out of the tree or for the fire?
It's because Hollis is flying down from the top of the tree with soldiers with guns everywhere, and then using a spell to get out of the owl. And all of that while soldiers are actively hunting the Sasquatch that they are going to land in front of. That's why I think it might need a roll. So I'm going to do a 2-die fortune roll. That's pretty good.
Are you able to do your invisible thing. I forget what it's called.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Death something?
Helm of Darkness.
Mm-hmm.
Darkness. Could that potentially help you?
I don't know if I could cast from. Can I cast?
You have to
from
be
home?
outside of the owl
Yeah.
first.
Ah.
Yeah. All right.
I'm just like, if I'm in Helm of Darkness, can I cast Tartarus?
Yeah. I
Okay.
think you could, and it might even increase the effect because you're closer to the underworld.
Closer to Tartarus.
Yeah. Okay. So the owl lands, and you can hear the creeping footsteps of the soldiers coming around. And then you get out of the owl, and what does Iran do? Just fly straight up.
Yeah, fly
Okay.
straight up.
All right, and you are ready to cast invoke Tartarus or anything else that you decide to do. But at that time, 3 soldiers kind of step out and make a semicircle around you. So you and the Sasquatch.
Okay, so I'm gonna do the Helm of Darkness so that they can't hurt me.
Okay. All right.
And let's see, for Helm of Darkness, I need to focus. And if I'm going to take an action in Helm of Darkness, it's an essence to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Take 1d to command when inspiring fear. Okay. Fearsome Omen affects Covenanter +1. All because of Helm of Darkness?
Yeah, when you're in the Helm of Darkness, you're...
Wow.
Yeah, pretty powerful. All right, so a focus roll to get you into the Helm of Darkness and out of the view of these soldiers with guns.
Okay.
Or hunters with guns, that is.
Tourists with guns.
Tourists. All right, that's a complete success.
Okay.
So what does that look like?
She's going to squat down and start mumbling all weird, and then just kind of poof of smoke disappear.
Okay. Yep, 2 bullets go whizzing over your head as you crouch, and then several more bullets hit the ground right as you vanish.
Okay.
And then they immediately turn their attention to the Squatch, who starts running through where you were a second ago.
You're going the wrong way, dude. But I can't tell him that, so I'm gonna do my Tartarus plan.
Okay.
Set the woods on fire.
All right. How much essence do you want to use?
I feel bad about setting the forest on fire. I don't want to spend it all because I definitely want to do some fire in the building. So I will do 2.
2 essence?
2 essence.
Okay. I think that's enough since you're kind of directing that in 2 different directions. That's probably enough to get 2 small groups of soldiers on either side of you.
Okay.
Good night, Lupinico. Thank you for the subscription, and this will be available on YouTube later tonight, as well as available on video on demand here on Twitch. So make sure to check back in later and let us know how you like it. All right.
That Invoke Tartarus is also a focus roll.
Okay.
And I will do that once I get my mouse. Okay.
That is a fail. On a... That is... I'm going to say you're in only risky because you're halfway between worlds. You're not at risk from the soldiers anymore. However, you find that hands are reaching up out of the ground and grabbing a hold of you, and you feel yourself get pulled a couple of inches into the ground by the restless dead that live here. However, your spell does succeed, although you kind of trip and one of your blasts goes off in the wrong direction, but two do go correctly.
Okay.
I'm gonna say for the 5 that was just rolled for the Hand of Fate, very very good, Robot Rainbows.
Thank you, thank you.
The blast that kind of went off in the wrong direction lights a tree directly in front of the Sasquatch, and the Sasquatch 180-degree turns and starts heading back to the building. So
Okay.
in the direction that you actually wanted her to go.
Good, good, good.
All right. And so yeah, do you want to describe what happens with the other blast that incinerates 2 of the hunters?
Yeah, so I guess she's in this in-between world that is basically looks like ours, but is gray and dull and not a lot of color and full of dead things. She loves it here. So same way she generally casts everything, she's got to touch the ground. And yeah, the fire goes off in, I guess, either side of her, and catches a couple of guys.
Yeah, you can see them entering the underworld as they crisp up and both fall to the ground. You watch them slowly emerge into the underworld, confused and dazed by the journey. And then they pass right past you and go straight into an afterlife.
Surpass our boys.
So you are the last thing they see, as they you're basically the ferryman for them. Do you want to resist the hands that have a hold of you?
Yeah.
I'm gonna say insight resist would be good.
Yeah,
for
that's
that.
what I was thinking too. Okay.
Whoa, that's nice. That's a crit. You regain 1 willpower.
Ooh.
So what does that look like?
Hollis is feeling very powerful today. So she looks down at the hands and commands them to let go of her, and they do.
Nice. That's exactly what I was thinking. Awesome. All right. Let's take a quick break, and we'll be back and see what Elise and Seth are up to. All right. We'll see you in just a minute. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Nightsky Sanctum, Season 2, Episode 16. Apparently, our browser add-ons have decided to stop working for the moment, but we'll get those fixed up in a sec. Wanted to remind everybody, if you're not already on our Discord, there's a link above in chat for joining our Discord, and we would love to see you there. So, the Sasquatch that is being hunted has just done a 180 to get away from the flames and to get away from the soldiers, and is now running back toward the Grail Hunting Club building at Camp Daylight, where Seth is currently an owl, or a rat on top of the roof, and Elise is
very obvious.
on top of the roof. And you hear some whistles from coming from the forest, and you hear somebody yell, "Game on!" And people start taking shots at the Sasquatch. So apparently they hadn't got far enough from the building for them to be supposed to be firing on them yet, but now they are. Or now that they're coming back toward the building, they're like, well, screw it. We gotta... So. Yeah, now they're bringing out the big guns, and that's when you hear repulsor lifts firing and 2 hovercrafts with 3 men on each come out of the 6-car garage on the side of the building.
Good gravy.
All right.
That needs to be overkill.
Very much so.
So there are 18 Grail Hunting Club members yet left, and none of them have been outed as the Ruby Phantom.
I guess we just have to kill them all.
I do think that is the most appropriate course of action.
Right.
So is Hollis in danger right now?
No. Hollis is completely invisible. So, yeah, nobody is able to see Hollis, and, yeah.
But they can see the fire, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah. So, yeah, that wave of fire incinerated 2 of the Grail Hunting Club members, and then, thanks to a recent rain, was put out before it caught any of the trees on fire in a major way.
Good.
All right.
I don't even have to feel bad about forest fire.
Although a forest fire would likely be an effective way of wiping them all out.
Oh, pardon me.
It's good forest management. You gotta burn all the stuff off the bottom every now and then.
Yes, exactly. Burn away all of the bad stuff. Should we see if there are any extra armaments about? Some heavier ordnance that isn't too technologically advanced. After all, while we can use magic on these boys, and I'm certain we shall, it does feel appropriate to shoot them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So, I guess we should make our way inside.
Yeah, you could start picking them off. Well, they're probably not going to be coming back in right now unless the Sasquatch makes her way back in.
Okay.
So from your vantage point on the roof, you have a pretty... You could pick off some of them relatively easily, but then you will make yourself a target pretty quickly. At least Elise would, because she's... so
Pretty
visible.
obvious.
Yeah. So.
I don't terribly mind being a target, but we might want to take out a few stealthily before we start opening fire.
You don't want to ruin your dress immediately.
We must avoid that altogether.
Yeah, they may have an arsenal inside that you could make use of as well. I mean,
But
those.
Seth doesn't have anything for range, so
Hmm.
if Seth's able to find something inside that could potentially be beneficial, I think Seth
Yeah.
might want to go and take a look around.
Okay. Yeah, because the bus loads of people that you saw, they didn't offload any weapons or anything like that when they came into the building, so they must have been outfitted from inside. Elise, do you want to go in with Seth and help look around for weapons?
Yes, I mean, I do have a pistol, but I would love to see if I can find an old rifle of some sort.
Oh yeah, rifles are. Oh, maybe I could give that to you as your benefit from rolling a critical earlier, Seth. When you rolled for your psychometry, you were able to zero in on where the arsenal is because it is in the basement. So you have enough of a working knowledge from your psychometry earlier of the layout of this place that you have a very good idea of how to get down there.
Okay. I guess I will lead the way as little rat.
Okay.
Certainly seems like the safest way to travel.
Yeah, a rat's a little less suspicious than a swamp thing.
Well, if you're going in alone, since you're a rat, that's going to give you probably increased effect. But if you, unless Elise wants to go down, then
Steph's for sure gonna go, so it's up to Elise if Elise wants to go.
It seems like it might be smarter if the rat goes by itself. If we're trying to be sneaky.
Gotcha.
Plus, also, I can maintain a spot up on the roof so that I can keep an eye on what's going on.
This is true. All right. Then who wants to roll first? Maybe a survey from Elise to see how well you have the lay of the land and the way the people are moving, or...
Yes, let's try. Elise is not very good at surveying things, but it was mostly just an excuse so that she didn't have to walk anywhere. She could just stand up there and drink.
Nice.
She's had a lot to drink.
Okay, and that is a fail. So I think you peek over the edge and a bullet goes whizzing past your head. Yes. At first, for a split second, you're not sure if they spotted you or if it was just a wild shot. So I guess that would depend on maybe an insight roll if you want to resist.
I think it's worth rolling, certainly, to see. At least just trying to be a little bit stealthy. She's not very good at being stealthy, but maybe she has the foresight to be a little bit... Oh my god.
Okay. That's going to cost you...
Please really love me today.
That's going to cost you 3 willpower. However, it was just a wild shot. So it takes you a lot of mental effort to be like, yeah, I'm going to actually do this in a sneaky way. Maybe you actually had to get down on your knees to do it in a sneaky way.
Oh, awful. Yes.
That sounds like a 3 willpower for Elise.
Certainly.
Okay. All right. Seth?
I'm gonna make my way inside that basement again.
Making your way downtown.
Making my way downstairs.
Walking rat.
Tail is fat and I'm homebound.
What do you want to roll for that? I'm going to give you greater effect pretty much regardless, so because you're so tiny.
Would finesse make sense? Like I'm trying to avoid cameras? I'm not so sure.
Yeah, I think again with that critical from earlier, you got a really really good idea of the layout of this place. So
Okay.
yeah, I mean you have literally years of experience that you're able to flash back on. So yeah, 100% I think finesse would work. So let's call that risky greater effect.
Here we go.
And that is a complete success. Not only do you make it down without being spotted, the door to the basement is already cracked open.
Oh,
Hey.
too excited. They just like ran off and left the door open.
Yeah, enough that you can get your tiny little rat body down between the crack of the door and the door frame. And you see a person standing at the bottom of the stairs trying to pick the lock on a cage to the left of the arsenal. So the arsenal is on the right at the bottom of the stairs, and this weird, extremely tough metal cage is on the left, and this cloaked figure is trying to pick the lock.
That sounds more like the Ruby Phantom than anyone fussing around outside.
Okay. So where am I in relation to them?
You're
I'm
at the
up on the stairs?
yeah,
Or
you're
like
at the top of the stairs. So you're about maybe 10 feet above this cloaked figure,
Okay.
and they're
So
kind
I'm
of off to
looking
the
down
left.
at them, not
Yeah.
across from the stairs.
Correct.
Um,
You could like flying squirrel over to him or something, but yeah, you couldn't just jump directly on him from here.
I think this is gonna sound a little wacky, but I've been thinking about doing this in a off time. Could I vital form into an anvil and just land on him?
Oh, not vital.
Squish him.
What's that called? Patient transformation.
Yes, I
Yeah.
said the wrong one again. I'm
It's
sorry.
okay. Yeah, patient transformation. Mimic an inanimate object for as long as necessary. Your biological functions are undetectable in this state. Yeah, I think if you get directly over him, I think that could absolutely work. So
Okay.
yeah, how do you want to get over him? And I think just a target would probably work, depending on like you could fly over there or any number of other things. To get
Because the
over his
way
head.
I was seeing the plan when you were explaining it to me, the staircase going around for the floors. And then
Oh,
I was
sorry.
seeing it as I was up and I was looking down
Yeah,
the
this
stairs.
is like a basement, so you're like looking down the stairs,
Okay.
and he's in another doorway. So yeah, you would have to like
Okay. So
fly
he's
down
not
about 10 feet.
a ways and about, tucked around somewhere.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
In that case, I probably can't land on him. So
You probably would, but you wouldn't get the satisfying smack of falling a good 10 feet as an anvil.
I'm not gonna get that satisfying pop, crunch, squish sound.
Right. Plus, it looks like they're picking a lock to the area that, from your critical success earlier, that the Sasquatches are being held. This
In
young
that case-
Sasquatch's parents, that is.
Can I attempt? I would like to attempt to shapeshift into a snake and just bite his ankle.
Okay. All right. And what's the intent?
The intent is to distract as well as to maybe inflict some kind of poison damage reaction. So he has to deal with that rather than dealing with me right away.
Okay.
Or even just to get the jump on him, like the element of surprise to kind of get the upper ground.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Do you want to let him finish picking the lock first, or do you want to do that?
You know what? Yeah, I'll wait a
beforehand?
little bit to see if he
Okay.
gets in, and then if he fails, I can try after.
Okay. All right. Let me do a fortune roll, because fortune rolls are fun. All right. We have a partial success. So I think you hear him kind of grunt out a damn as you hear a ping of one of his lock picks break. But then he manages to dig it out of the hole and works it some more, and it finally opens. And he swings open the door and starts waving some people that you can't see over.
Okay.
And he hasn't noticed you yet, but he is now turning toward you. You see him pointing back and up the stairs toward you, but he hasn't looked over his shoulder and seen you yet.
Okay.
Looks like a mundane human. He's
So sorry, is he waving to someone on another hallway? Is he waving to someone in this cage?
Inside the cage, yeah.
Okay.
And the hand that he's waving at them with is wearing a glove, but the other hand is not.
Okay. Yeah. In that case, can I attempt just to sneak attack him?
Sure.
I want to come up behind while I guess I'm not a snake or anything at this point because I was waiting for him.
Oh,
So
it doesn't cost you anything to shapeshift, so you can become anything you want.
okay, I would like to just shift into my regular self and see if
Okay.
I can just roll classic neck snap.
Okay. All right. So you're gonna come down the stairs swiftly, as a rat, and then turn into your normal self behind him, or what do you want to do?
I would like to. The attempt is to be a rat going down the stairs and take advantage of that high rat jump to jump towards him, and while I'm jumping towards him, I'm going to shift back.
All right.
So I
Cool.
can kind of use that momentum to kind of latch on.
Sure.
Would a spring be appropriate? Because
Yeah,
I'm trying to
absolutely. So I'm gonna say, yeah, you're having to move fast because he's kind of turning in your direction. So I'm gonna say risky standard.
Okay. That makes sense to me, especially because he's waved someone over at this point. Let's see how this goes.
Okay, that's a partial success. So yeah, why don't you describe what this looks like up to the potential final blow there?
Okay. So, seeing that I'm pressed for time, I'm going to skitter and bounce my way down the stairs. And on the last stair, I'm going to use my momentum exactly, and then I'm going to use that momentum to launch myself through the air towards him and shift into my normal surf and turf Seth form and lunge at him with my hands to try to twist his neck around.
Okay. When you grab him, his body has a surprisingly small amount of mass to it. And so you end up kind of crumpling him against the cage bars.
Okay.
And you hear the sound of bone hitting metal. And when he kind of half turns around, half of his face is a skeleton, and the other half is flesh. And his flesh eye has a ruby gem in it.
Oh, Seth sees the shiny. Seth wants the shiny.
That does very much sound like the Phantom move.
And you see two large Sasquatches, one gray and the other black, both come lumbering toward you. They look like they haven't had a chance to get much exercise in the past. You recognize them from your psychometry earlier. These are the parents of the Sasquatch that's being hunted.
Okay.
And they kind of, lumberingly make their way past you in an attempt to escape and head up the stairs. The supposed Ruby Phantom turns toward you and looks shocked to see you here. And his, one side of his jaw kind of drops, and he's just, blinking and waiting to see what you do. But he doesn't seem to be hostile in any way.
Are you making this information known to all of us?
I would like to, yeah. Especially now, because it's like, oh, he let them out, but he looks spooky. There's a guy down here.
I didn't expect that we were going to be running up against Gustavo Fring.
I'll have to find out what that's a reference to later.
So the person who's been giving us the messages has had a skeletal hand. So he might be the guy who's been giving us the messages, trying to help us.
I guess I've grabbed him at this point, so if he's shocked and I'm confused, I'm just gonna kind of be like, friend or foe? Friend? Just like waiting for him to respond in Seph's very poor English. Potentially.
He looks at you and is like, we've got to get out of here. It's not safe. But he hands you a key, and you recognize it as the key that's been used many times to open the armory.
Okay. If he had the key, then why was he picking... Oh no, it's like the cage.
He was picking the cage lock, yeah.
Yeah.
And then he starts up the stairs.
Which way did the Sasquatches go? Did they go
up the stairs as well, yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna follow them.
Okay. You don't want to get anything out of the armory while you're down here?
Yeah, that was kind of the whole point. I'm down here. Okay, bye. Yeah.
Right, let's hop back to Elise for a
hop back to
moment.
everyone else, because I'm jibber-jabber.
Who is wondering whether it's a good idea to even look over the edge of the building again.
Mm-hmm. You could take
Under
some
the
blind shots.
I feel like that's a bad idea, especially since I have a revolver and only 7 bullets left. However, it might be worth abandoning my post up here, since it seems that Seth has found a person of interest.
Oh yeah,
And frankly, I'm not much good up here unless I can actually see things, and I can't see things without exposing myself.
Yeah. Yeah, so I guess if, there's, who knows, maybe a 50-50 chance that they're coming up here versus, trying to go out the front door, or maybe finding a door that leads to the, garage.
These are the
supposed
Sasquatches.
Ruby Phantom and the Sasquatches.
Ah. Oh, they're not with Seth?
No, they've all headed up the stairs.
Right. Well then, I suppose I can attempt to... Well, I think actually it might be good to go towards Seth, rendezvous together, because if Seth is going into an armory, might be good to have someone there to grab an extra gun.
Yeah, and there weren't any, when Seth went down as a rat, there weren't any guards or anything.
So I may just go down that route, even if it isn't the smartest route.
Okay.
Seth just meets you halfway, octopus form, carrying 8 guns.
Nice.
I think we're good.
I can see Seth coming up the stairs with 8 guns in octopus form.
All squishy, like kind of falling over, like, oh god.
I think that's a great idea. I think we put Seth out in the field with 8 guns.
On a hovercraft, just like...
Yeah, they're all coming up
which
the
way?
same staircase, Rebecca. So yeah, you watch Elise as you're coming down. You watch the two Sasquatches come running up from the basement, and then taking a quick left turn and heading toward the front door. And then you see the hooded figure following closely behind.
The smart thing to do would probably be to intercept them, but Elise would rather just take a drink and watch them go than to try to stop two Sasquatches and this random individual. However,
Well, we have
I
the
do think she would. I do think she might stop to try to get the hooded figure's attention, since if the information is being shared by Seth, she at least has an inkling that this figure might be connected to the Phantom.
Yeah.
So she will attempt to call out to him in a very expectant manner. Where do you think you're going?
Okay. He turns toward you, and you see he has a pistol at the ready. But as soon as he turns toward you, he drops it to his side, and kind of gives you a look over, and it's like, the fight's that way, and points toward the front door.
Well, I guess we're getting into the fray then. But we need Seth's guns.
Yeah. As he's like backing toward the door, he's like, the two of them are gonna need all the help they can get to get out of here alive.
Well, then, I suppose help we must.
Alright, we'll go back to
And we
Hollis.
shall figure out a bit more about who you are, darling, when this is all done.
He winks his skeletal eye. I don't know how you do that, but
just flaps an eye patch. Just
yeah.
blink.
And then turns and gets his gun at the ready and continues toward the door. All right. What's Hollis up to? You are currently completely invisible in the forest.
Yeah. I don't want to spend a whole lot of essence doing things in Helm of Darkness. So, have most of the people left
Yeah.
from the area that I was in?
Yep, they're mostly heading toward the direction the Sasquatch went running.
Okay. So what I think that I will do is step out of the shadow world and follow all the people back going after the Sasquatch.
Okay. All right. Yeah, you can still have a relatively hidden spot since nobody's really paying attention to the direction that you're in.
Small, I'm green, and I blend in.
Yeah. You
Just
see,
like Ribbit.
yeah. You see the two hovercrafts. One of them hovers up real high and goes over to the other side, and then so they both come in and like pinchers to try to block in the Sasquatch, and that's when you see the other two Sasquatches approaching the door. So it looks like all three Sasquatches are very near being in a firing gallery, basically, at this point. That you might be about to watch a Sasquatch massacre. Sasquatcher.
Sasquatcher?
Yeah, I think so. I think that's the official term for it.
I don't think so.
No?
Squash to squish.
Sasquish.
Just a Sassacre.
Mm-hmm. I thought that was a sassy massacre. Are you laughing at Isabella?
Yes.
Her real grimoire is cancer. Yeah, as soon as I saw that, I was like, I'm gonna have a hard time not laughing. Alright. So yeah, any kind of mass spell, anything you can do against a large group of people that are sort of separated over a relatively large area would be good here. There are, like I said, about 18 living people, 2 hovercrafts, and dozens of high-powered rifles between the group.
So, Hollis is in the forest. I'm in the basement. Elise is on the roof. And
No,
we're all
Elise.
I'm on the main floor now.
Yeah, Elise and you
Oh.
are both up on the main floor now. You two
I'm on
have
the main floor as
met
well?
up. Yeah, you've met up, and
Okay.
if you had any weapons that you wanted to share between yourselves, you can have already done that.
Okay.
So basically, the 2 hovercrafts are in a pincher, and then from the other axis, the 2 of them and Hollis are in a pincer coming the other way. So
Okay.
yeah, it's up to you.
So are most of the hunters outside of the building?
All of them, yeah, as far as you're aware.
I have an idea for a wild magic.
Okay.
So I have fearsome omens,
Mm-hmm.
which basically makes me super scary.
Yeah.
But it is for Coven tier or lower.
Which
So I was thinking if I
they are.
do fearsome, no, they're tier 4 according
are
to
they?
the
Okay.
yeah. If I do a wild magic and pump it up really big, make the fearsome omens larger than life, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I can get the most of them to just flee
Mm-hmm.
or anything else.
Yeah, you could even extend the effect to all of the Sasquatches, make them look fearsome too, if you wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
Or even your
Because the
entire
regular
coven.
stuff scary enough.
No,
Not to
nearly.
these guys. Yeah, so I guess I could make the Sasquatches and Elise and Seth look super scary too.
Okay.
And the skeleton guy is kind of already scary, but
Good point.
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, I could try that. That could be fun.
Okay.
We could all be super scary.
Right. Okay, and the intent of the effect is to get them to completely break ranks and try to get away?
Yes.
Okay.
I would accept a range of reactions. They could be so frightened that they kill themselves or their comrades. They could drop their weapons and run away.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like those two.
All right. So for that, we start with 0 dice. Plus
Okay.
1 die if it's appropriate to your grimoire. Which
It is a grimoire power.
Yeah, it's based on a grimoire power. Plus 1 die if it's appropriate to your heritage.
Goblins are scary.
Yeah, they are definitely they're among the scariest heritages, and
Monstrous.
so are yeah. And plus 1 die if the effect is appropriate to your aspect.
So generally, when I do fearsome omens, I go with anything death or dying, related. And since my card is the death card, I feel like that makes sense.
So maybe there is like rotting.
Yeah, so basically we all smell like rotting corpses, and we all kind of look like walking rotted corpses that are extra scary. So I guess like fast zombies.
Fast zombies. All right.
They're the scariest ones to me.
A zombie that can alacrity.
Mm-hmm.
All
Would
right.
we be looking similar to the half, like, skeleton person, essentially?
Yeah. Just probably scarier because we have stinky flesh falling off of us, and I generally like to have teeth and claws and all that good kind of stuff, and swarms of bugs, you know.
All right.
Yeah.
Exclamation point 3W will get you a 3 dice wild magic roll.
Please don't be ugly.
Oh. All right, that's a partial success. So, on a partial success, you are going to be spending 3 essence.
Okay.
Immediately increase the fate of the coven by 3 ticks.
Okay.
Increase your personal fey bargain by 3 ticks. And we're going to start an 10 clock for the Red Watch intervention. All right. Okay. But with a wild magic complication, you are going to be able to successfully do it, but there will be a short-lived, interesting complication.
What is it?
I think that you are all actually dying. So you actually, it's Death's Blessing on everybody, effectively. It's a mix between Fearsome Omens and Death's Blessing. You actually...
Sorry, guys, I got confused about which spell I was casting, and you're dying now.
You actually feel your bodies truly start to deteriorate, as if you were dying. But your bones start to protrude through places that, they don't normally go. Your elbows get extremely sharp.
That's just how Elise looks already.
Before makeup. Okay, so Hollis, you can describe that. Otherwise.
Yeah, so I kind of feel like I have already described it.
Yeah.
We're gross. I want there to be swarms of flies and flesh-eating insects and the smell of rot and sulfur and just everything disgusting that would make you want to, get the fuck out of a place. And then all of us looking like walking corpses coming for them makes them want to shit their pants.
Yeah.
And we have guns.
Yeah. I think immediately half of them completely abandon post. I mean, the half of them that look more like the guy who vomited in the woods toward the beginning, they just have no chance against this. This is so far outside of their "this is what I signed up for" zone that they're gone. And like you said, they drop their weapons. All hail Beelzebub, exactly. They drop their weapons and just immediately evacuate the area, including one of the people that's on one of the hovercrafts. And when he unbuckles from the hovercraft, it throws off the weight of the whole thing, and it twists, and one of the people that's on the opposite side just gets immediately crushed when it rolls over, so that kills an extra one, and then it kind of rolls, and you see it kind of come to rest, and the guy that's still on it has, like, at least one broken leg. So one of the hovercrafts is completely taken out, and a total of 11 people are either gone or killed by the effect. Gone as in ran away.
Yeah.
The others are too stunned to move, so they're not currently taking any action.
Can I demand that they hand over the Ruby Phantom or be eaten?
So the Ruby Phantom changed in the same way that your allies did. The Sasquatches became bigger, and their fur started kind of melting off of their bodies. And the Ruby.
So he is the skeleton guy is the Ruby Phantom.
I think we can assume as much since he has a ruby in his face, and he's quite phantom-like.
Yeah, as little sense as that appears to make. It does appear to be the case.
He's got some splaining to do.
Yeah. I mean, you recognize the skeletal hand from the 2 times that you've seen this thing reach onto your Covenstead island, so you are the first person to, like, 100% know this is definitely the same person that has been giving us the instructions, and apparently is also the Ruby Phantom.
He's pulling a Zodiac killer. Right?
I'm saving them to murder them later.
I think it's perhaps a little bit more complicated than we have been led to understand thus far.
Unless it's a whole Jekyll and Hyde thing between his 2 halves.
I love that. I wish I would have thought of that. That's
Give you
great.
creative license for next time.
Megan, the GM. Nice. All right. But yeah, so yeah, like I said, everybody else is too stunned to speak or act.
I would like to hop out with my rifle and take a shot at the remaining hovercraft.
Okay. Awesome.
And hop out as well as I can as a rotting corpse.
And you have whatever artillery that I gave you as well, but that's up to Gavin's discretion of what was actually in the
Definitely some high-powered rifles, like Morningstar said. Yeah, for sure.
Something with a bit more range than my pistol.
All right. What's the intent? You trying to destabilize it or destroy it, or?
Yes, to see if I can send it spiraling towards the ground. Perhaps if I'm very lucky, it'll land on some of the other ones. Or it might kill the Sasquatches. Oh well.
What are you thinking as far as action?
I was thinking target made the most sense.
Okay. I'm gonna say with a high-powered rifle, target, even taking into account that your body is currently rotting, and you can smell the smell as well. And of course it has absolutely wrecked your outfit, and you probably even dropped your drink when it happened.
It's terrible.
that whole thing just sloughed off.
I knew camping was going to be awful, but I didn't know it was going to be this awful.
But
It's been great.
I'm thinking risky standard.
All right. And I would like to spend a little bit of willpower to bump up to an extra die.
Okay.
Just because I might as well do it once this session.
Right.
And I will have at least sort of leap out from the door frame so that she's out there and shout, "Tally ho!" as she fires off at the hovercraft.
Nice.
Amazing.
That is a complete success.
I really just wanted an opportunity to shout "Tally ho!" but
Well, you did. All right. You fire and happen to hit an exhaust port that is great timing with them sort of hitting the gas. And yeah, it completely destabilizes. The thing juts forward and sort of does a 360, and just lands completely upside down, with a sort of satisfying fletchy thump.
Well, we didn't get the anvil, but at least we got a fleshy thump.
That leaves 7, 6, 5, 4.
People.
That leaves only 4 people left. So if Hollis wants to bite somebody, now's the time.
I do. I really want to bite somebody. I'm gonna run at one of them.
All right.
And screaming and just chomp.
Okay.
Wherever I can chomp.
Yeah, I'll say one of them is separate from the others, and the other 3 are all sort of huddled together. So you go after the one that's separate.
Okay.
All right. What do you want to use for that?
A brawl.
And what's the intention? Are you using any spells along with it?
Yeah, so I'm going to use my Death Blessing add-on so I can make them look like the rest of us.
Nice. Necrotic bite. Fantastic. All right. I'm gonna
We really do
say
look like a zombie outbreak.
risky greater effect.
Okay. Better do it.
Oh my god.
Oh,
Okay,
I
it's
can't do it.
it's only risky. So let's see what you get with risky. Okay, on risky, on a failure, I am gonna go with
If we're already in pain and we're dying, is there something that would happen with Hollis extra bad because of that?
One of my legs breaks off as I'm trying to run.
Completely get stuck on a tree root. You keep going, it's there.
I'm like, oh crap.
Yeah, maybe this is
Jumping on
when
one leg.
when you first notice that, oh crap, this is not normally how death or how fearsome moments works. You lose a leg, and you go stumbling toward him, and you ooze venom from your death's blessing teeth onto his shirt front, and it just oozes down his chest, and your like the fleshy tendons are still attached to your leg like a leash, and it's just barely preventing you from getting close enough to him because he's completely not moving, because he's just stunned, and that's sort of what breaks the spell for him. Not that he's not seeing it, but that he can actually start to move again. And he spins around on one leg and starts running as fast as he can away from you. You can resist either of those. You can resist him running away, or you can resist your leg being stuck.
No, he can run away. That's fine. I think it's fair that my leg is stuck, so I'm fine with that.
All right. Who else wants to take an action?
I would like to take an action.
Fish time.
Fish time. No. Sorry. Writing something. You said there's 3 left in a group together, right?
Yeah, they are.
So I'm wondering if I can get 2 of the guns that I've taken from the artillery, kind of cock them on my hips, Mad Max style, and just unload.
Sure.
It's a group of 3.
Yeah, they're single shot guns, so you could definitely have a good chance of getting 2 at once.
Okay.
So
I'm gonna give that a go with target.
okay. I'm gonna say risky standard.
Okay. And sorry, it's been a while since I did it for myself. For yourself, it's 2 willpower dots to increase. I'm going to do that because I only have 1 in target, because Seth doesn't know how to use a gun.
You can also do Fey bargains for an extra die, yeah, that's the main.
You know what? Yeah, I'll do another Fey bargain because I'm pretty close on.
Yeah, I don't want to use those 2.
Yeah.
And then to gain increased effect, you can do a spell-like effect, so that your fingers become extra tentacles, so that you can manipulate the gun better without having to.
Ooh, yeah.
Finger tentacles, how convenient.
So that would give you increased effect. As far as the Fey bargain, I think if any of somebody's gonna survive this one way or another, and they're going to put zombie Seth on a poster board somewhere that is like a wanted poster. And
Wanted,
it's gonna be
rotting fish.
yeah. And we're gonna say
Oh,
that's
the smell. I mean, I'm sure we all smell bad, but Seth,
It's not
goodness
extra
gracious.
we're gonna say that's 3 fate for the coven.
bad. Okay.
Oh crap.
Jeez.
Even though let's make it 2 because it is zombie Seth, and zombie Seth doesn't actually exist outside of this.
Neither did Jesus, Seth, but
Also on a wanted poster for a
Yeah.
completely different reason.
So
Okay.
We're at 4 fate now.
oh wow. Risky greater effect +1 die. Or +2 if you're also using willpower.
I'm not gonna do the
Okay.
willpower. I'll save that, so I'll just do the 1 die.
And that is a complete success.
Yay!
I didn't even need it. There we go.
Alright. So, do you want to describe that?
Yeah. So Sep's hands are going to warp into little babby tentacles, so they can wrap up and around the gun, and they're just gonna do their best. They're might as well be pointing at themselves. They have no idea which end is the business end of the gun. And thankfully, they fire in the right direction.
Alright, yeah. One of them, the bullet hits him in the neck and just tears out a huge chunk of his neck, and he falls over and bleeds out on the ground. The other one, it's a perfect headshot, and he goes down, leaving the one standing in the middle of the 3 of them, drooling on himself, and looking for an escape.
Should have worn the brown pants.
Hollis, the one that was running away from you still isn't terribly far, but you would have to hop after them unless you have some way of getting your leg back on.
No.
Elise?
well, how many more do we have to kill again?
There's only 2 left now.
The one in front of Hollis and the one in the group of 3 that I missed.
Yep.
Well, I suppose the sensible thing to do is probably to take care of that extra one in front of Hollis before Hollis gets... Unless Hollis wants to bite that one.
He's running
know,
away.
running.
He's running away.
Well then, I shall attempt to fire at his leg.
Okay. He took Hollis's leg. Not really, but so we're taking yours. Okay.
Sorry, Gab, are we sitting at the Red Watch clock?
Yeah, that's 2 out of 10 right now.
Thank
It's a
you.
long way for them to get up here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All
I
right.
just totally missed it. I just wanted to make sure I wasn't get too far behind.
All right. What do you want to use for that?
Figure target's still the most sensible thing for a gunshot. Especially if I'm not blind firing.
Yeah. All right.
So I shall attempt to aim at his leg. I shall shout stop, but I'm not going to wait. I'm just going to shoot at him.
Nice.
So it's a command, but I'm not doing a command roll. I'm just shooting him.
All right. I'm gonna say risky standard.
All right.
You're not
I'm not
gonna...
going to throw any extra die in here either. We will see what the fates give us.
Hey, that's a complete success. So what does that look like?
It looks like a large caliber bullet firing directly through his calf, decimating the bone and causing him to collapse entirely on himself in agony, screaming horrible things.
I think the only good thing he has going for him now is that he's faced away from all the carnage. So he's not actually seeing you guys and all the how horrible you all look and everything.
I mean, he no doubt thinks that his fate is sealed now.
Well, maybe it is because he has fallen and he is not terribly far from Hollis anymore because he has fallen to the ground.
Stretch, Hollis, stretch. You can reach him.
Well, he's not going to be running very far.
Nope.
Yeah, I want to fall to the ground and then just drag myself with my, arms along the ground, just like growling at him the entire time. Yeah.
Yeah, brains, and then you get up to him and you're like, nah, no brains.
Nom, nom, nom.
Oh, your Grail hunting club, no brains. All right, yeah. What do you want to use? I think getting up to him, that's not going to be a problem for you. Death's Blessing, you're more used to this than everybody else is. You know you're gonna regain your leg shortly.
Yeah.
You guys haven't taken any actual damage from it.
Yeah, it's just gross.
It is, yeah.
It's a flesh wound.
So yeah, I think that tendon finally tore, and you were able to get away from your leg.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, you catch up to him. So what do you want to do to him now?
Chomp.
A chomp?
A chomp.
All right.
I still like brawl.
Okay.
I just feel like that's how I bite people.
Yeah.
Very vicious. Very brawly.
Risky, greater effect.
Why is it risky? He's on the ground with nothing, bleeding to death.
Your leg rather, is off.
It's fine.
I just think, yeah, he there's a chance he could he could try to fight you off and potentially
His other leg could kick.
dislocate your jaw or something. Right, that's it. That's a complete success. All right, how do you do him? You can do him to death.
I think I'm gonna crawl up his entire body so I can look him in the eyes, and then I will chomp him on the, I don't know, what do you call that? The neck shoulder area. You know, the vampire bite zone.
Vampire bite zone. Nice. All right, and yeah, the necrosis just spreads out across his body, and
it basically decays that part of his body that he's bitten on. I don't know that it necessarily goes throughout his entire body, but it does make that arm useless, and I guess if he's not gonna get medical help, it'll probably reach to his heart relatively quickly.
it is unlikely.
It's his neck too. It could be like up in like to his ear and like to his brainstem.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you're close to that arm, his brain, his heart. You know, yeah, you've got a lot of the really important stuff within your bite distance. Yeah. So yeah, I think if you don't mind it taking, it's basically however long you want it to take for him to die, but he will be in agony for however long you decide.
Yeah, like a couple of minutes, like 3 or 4 minutes.
All right. Yeah, and he loses so much function in the arm that's closest to where you bit him that he's not even able to adequately fight you off or keep you off of him. And he's so far from any weapons that you're not in any real danger anymore. And so the Ruby Phantom flicks out a set of keys and says, I stole one of the buses. And he loads up the 3 Sasquatches onto the bus and is like, where should I meet you all?
I guess we could tell them where our campsite is, and we could just kind of go back to our bus camper.
Yes, that seems like a safer thing to do than directing this individual to our covered set.
Although he already knows where it is. He's been there before.
He's been there twice.
True. That's true, indeed.
But yeah, that if you invite him back there, the assumption will be that he can come in, and you probably don't want that until you know more about what's going on with him.
I guess I'll crawl back over to my leg and stick it back on in place and then let the wild magic go so that we all go back to normal.
Yeah. Anything anyone else wants to do while you're here? You do find out shortly after this that there is one person left alive on the premises. It's an older librarian-looking woman who was at the front desk, who is very used to hearing, gunshots going off close to the building. Yeah.
Probably not used to the screams of agony and terror, though.
Yeah, it was a little unusual because she did see some of you turn into zombies as you were walking out of the building. So yeah, it's an older woman by the name of Paige, and yeah, she seems completely unconcerned about the goings on as long as she's not implicated in them. She tells Elise that this is just her day job and it pays well, but she's thinking of quitting.
But I think we can leave her alive, probably.
Sure.
Unless we really don't want any witnesses whatsoever. But I don't mind witnesses, personally.
She asks you to let her know if Susan and her family make it out of here okay.
She's talking about the Squatches?
Yeah.
They'll be fine.
They named them, and they still tried to kill them.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I want to burn the wooden part of this lodge down.
Ooh. That's a good idea.
I don't want it to be here anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, arson is just... it's mandatory.
It is. Alright. I think some well-placed invoke Tartarus. It's like they have a small library full of travel guides and hunting guides and all kinds of other ridiculous stuff, and you can kind of spread some books out on the floor and use that as kindling to light the place up. So I'd just say 1 essence.
Okay. That's good, because that's all I have left.
Woohoo! Here, I will help out everybody with some arson. There we go. All right. So, yeah, you meet up with the Ruby Phantom at your campsite later. Do you want to do Drawing Down the Moon first?
Yeah, please.
Who would like...
I don't want the Red Watch to get me.
I don't know if they're even scary at this point. They are a little scary.
They get
Still fun to kill them.
cool toys. That makes them scary.
They could still put me in a box on Rikers Island for a while.
Yeah. If they could do it to that really powerful Storm Witch, they could probably do it to you. Alright, who wants to do Drawing Down the Moon?
I think it's Elise's turn.
I do believe so. It's been a little while since I have had the opportunity. Elise is, unfortunately at this point, quite intoxicated. Partly because she didn't want to be camping anyhow, and now she's dead and everything smells awful.
It's better now.
Just a little bit wobbly as she draws a circle for the ritual to be performed in the pine needle-filled earth of the campsite. And using her cloak, sort of creates a pattern in the circle as she reaches up to the moon and calls upon it to bless us, bless the coven, and replenish us as we have spent ourselves and are in need of refreshment.
Awesome.
At which point she downs another drink as well.
Alright, that's going to be 2 dice Drawing Down the Moon.
All right.
Normally 3, but because you're not at your coven stead.
Indeed. I can't really justify that here. Oh,
Hey, that's a complete success. So that's
marvelous.
6 essence and 3 willpower restored to each member.
She
Nice.
may be drunk, but she's still good.
Alright, and yeah, the final effects of the wild magic wear off. Your body parts are restored to full working order. However, all of your clothing are ruined as if you had been dead for the last 30 minutes or so.
Except
can't get that stink out.
garbage anyway, so it doesn't matter.
I was wearing a nice gown.
So
I suppose that's what I get for camping in a gown.
yeah. The Ruby Phantom returns in the bus, and seems to have. He tells you that he dropped the Sasquatches off in midnight at a safe house, and apologizes for his ruse. He tells you that indeed he was the Ruby Phantom all along. He had changed his allegiance away from the Grail Hunting Club and Destiny Research Group after he found out what the creatures that he had been handing off to Destiny Research Group were being the experiments that were being performed on them. And decided to misuse your coven rather than taking out his vengeance on Grail Hunting Club himself by pointing you toward various people that had made fun of him and caused him to be in the position that he is now over the years. And that he is truly sorry, but you did everything that he had hoped, and more. After that first time at the awards ceremony, he knew he had gotten in way over his own head, and that's why he laid off for a while. Because he thought there was a good chance you guys would just find out that it was him and just come and completely destroy him. But yeah,
Get rid of what's left of his face.
he and in a way he was kind of hoping you would, because he truly deserved that for the things that he put some witches through in the past. So he was trying to basically commit suicide by coven, but you know, little mix of things there. So he puts his one skeletal hand and his one fleshy hand toward you, like he's ready to have the cuffs put on him, and is like, do with me as you wish.
I'm sure Elise doesn't appreciate the ruse, but is impressed by the manipulation.
Hell, I mean, we weren't harmed by it at all, really, so if anything, it's been fun. Usually I don't care for fun, but what happened at the award show was such a joyous romp. So, I have no ill will, but I am curious, darling, about more than just what you've done. How is it that you've come to look like this?
You can't just ask people that.
I mean, he could ask the same of us at this point, but he was there. But there's obviously some greater magic at hand here.
Yeah. He points at his ruby eye. Something happened with wild magic when I used to be with the Red Watch. And that's how I ended up like this. The Grail Hunting Club and everyone that I've worked with in the past has made fun of me mercilessly for it. But I quite seem to not be able to die.
They made fun of you for being immortal.
He appears to have some pretty deep-seated self-hatred.
I suppose that's how most people get into these hunting clubs.
Does he count as a corpse?
I don't know. You want to try something?
I mean, I have reshape corpse.
Uh-huh.
Maybe I could fix him so that he looks like an entire person
Yeah.
or an entire skeleton.
Yeah, that could be an interesting downtime action.
Okay.
Long-term project. If you're, you know.
Also get a cool undead best friend.
Another one.
Yeah.
No, I'm gonna keep him locked up in the dungeon for his crimes and see if I can figure out how to do it and then just do it a tiny bit at a time.
In the most painful way you can manage.
Absolutely.
Okay. Well, yeah, he'll go to your Covenstead and your cell willingly. All right, and we will call that a session. So, Isabella totally 100% called this earlier. She actually said it in chat. What was it? Oh man, are you telling me that this whole thing was a ruse and that destroying Grail Hunting Club was the point all along? And so I private messaged her and said, "Oh my god, how did you call that?" But yeah.
In all fairness, we tended to do a better job of destroying the hunting club than we actually did of hunting for the Phantom at every
time. I know, and that's why I seriously thought that you guys were gonna actually catch him, and then he was gonna have to divulge what was actually going on early. But yeah, and then you guys would
we
have
were
probably
just so interested in violence.
yeah. And you know what? We love you for that. All right. Well, let's let everybody know where they can find us online and other places, and let's start with Morningstar.
Well, if you want to find me online, you can look on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook for the Cytherian. And we post marvelous photographs every week, edited by my charming Megan over there. And I'm very excited to share what we have this week. It's not even done, and I'm already chomping at the bit to get it out there. Because I just know they're going to do a marvelous job of it.
Awesome. You got a request for Show Pocket Watch? I don't know if you still have it.
Luva really just loves this pocket watch. I think she just wants me to hypnotize her.
Uh-oh. Megan, quick before you get hypnotized.
Forgot what I was going to say. Yes, editor and photographer for the Morningstar content. That's me. I have my own Insta. Not much is there right now because I realized I don't have all the technology I need to do screen capture. So I have to kind of catch up on that before I can do the types of videos I want to do and the type of content I want to do. But if you want to follow that, that's Seafoam Workshop on Instagram. And it's going to be tutorials, funny behind the scenes, as well as some one-off stuff from the Morningstar content that maybe isn't going to go on the main pages, or just silly, like, one-off stuff. Just very memey, cringy kind of things. Less serious. Yeah,
I'm very serious.
You can see inside my brain of what it is to be dealing with a muse. But yeah, that's about it.
As a handler.
Andrea?
Yeah, I'm Adria. You can find me, let's see, here on Tuesdays, obviously. I am half of the writing team and creative team at Balsamic Moon Games. Yes, this is our game that you've been watching this evening. Um, you can go to our Patreon, and I put out weekly expansion factions from all over the world, not just in America or Manhattan. And I have really enjoyed that, expanding our game world that way. You can also find me on Fridays on my own Twitch channel, which is Wildwood Witch. Wild with a Y. And I think there's an underscore between wood and witch.
Should be.
Um,
I put a link in the thing, but yep, okay, it
Gotcha.
works. It works.
Thanks. I do random gameplay, and we're starting into some paranormal investigation stuff. This week, I am going to have a story prepared about the one and only witch trial that ever happened in South Carolina, which is where we're from. And the ghost story associated with that. And we'll probably do another spirit box session and yeah, see if we can get any new, more interesting information. So that'll be fun. So if you're interested in that kind of a thing, yeah, come on over, give me a follow at Wildwood Witch.
Awesome, yeah. And I am the other half of the creative team that created Children of Midnight Coven. And yeah, I'm making expansion grimoires. So over the next 2 to 3 weeks, I'll be making 2 new grimoires to add to our game. The Swamp Grimoire and the Cosmic Grimoire.
Ooh, Swamp.
Swamp is going to be really awesome. Andrea has been a huge help in us figuring out exactly what that means, and I'm really
My
excited
next character can be Shrek.
Yeah.
I was just saying to Isabella the other day, it is so hard for me not to put Shrek references in the Swamp Witch.
You can make very, very subtle ones.
Yeah.
Like, be tasty.
Like the swamp version of Fearsome Omens is "Get out of my swamp." Isabella had a bunch of good ideas for it too. But yeah, and then the other one is Cosmic, and that one's actually like void magic and divination and contacting elder gods. So that one's pretty crazy too. But not to be confused with what Corpus Templi Solaris is doing in our game. They would never have anything to do with a cosmic witch, or vice versa. So yeah, we're working on both of those right now, and hopefully, so that will mean we have 13 grimoires available by the end of spooky season. So we'll be back here every Tuesday throughout the month, playing more Children of Midnight Coven with Nightsky Sanctum. That's going to be the next 2 to 3 weeks, and then we will be playing Graham Gentz's game, Under the Autumn Strangely, that we're really looking forward to. It's Over the Garden Wall inspired tabletop game. And we will be back here on alternate Thursdays running one-shot adventures for our Patreon supporters. So make sure to come check that out. We will be running a one-shot of Children of Midnight Coven, not this Thursday, but next Thursday, called Crystal Lake Retreat. It's a retreat for witches who have retired and need a little special care, and we're all playing members of their support team. So we're the owners of the owners and people who work at the camp. So, and amazingly, did not inspire this episode's camp. Very, very different camp. So, yeah, we're really looking forward to all of it, and can't wait to see you again next week. So, thank you all so much for being here. We had a great time, and we'll see you again next time.
Bye.